Welcome to Get Paid to Go to College with Ryan Kelly. I am your host, and I am so excited you're here. This podcast and YouTube channel have been in the works for quite a while. I've been mainly producing videos on Instagram, TikTok. Maybe you followed me there, or maybe this is your first time on my channel, but I'm so excited that you're here. This is episode 1. Welcome. No matter what your family's financial situation background is, whether you expect to qualify for money from FAFSA, whether you don't expect to get financial need, the really amazing thing and the mission of this show is to show you and teach you that there are so many scholarships available that your family is able to earn and use to pay for all of college. So welcome. I'm so excited to go on this journey together. And if you want more tips, strategies, how to apply for scholarships, how to win scholarships, strategies that you're not going to find anywhere else, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and leave me a comment. I love hearing from each and every one of you. I read every single comment. And if you have questions, if you have comments, drop those below, because then I'll be able to respond to those, engage with those, and also make future videos answering your questions. So the point of this show, Get Paid to Go to College, is to teach your family to do exactly that. We don't want to come out of pocket paying for college. We want to get paid to go to college. And the title of this actually stemmed from the program and the course that I put together just a few years ago. It's now helped families win over $2.6 million in scholarships to date, who have been implementing, they've been going through the videos, the lessons, implementing so many of those strategies that I share freely on my Instagram, my TikTok, now my YouTube and podcast. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to get into debt to pay for college. And I know so many families where the parents are co-signing on those loans. They're coming out of pocket. They're delaying saving for retirement because they want to help their student pay for college. And that is wonderful. That is beautiful. These parents want to help support their student. You want to help support your student. But it's a big financial burden, especially when the costs of college keep creeping up each and every year. So Get Paid to Go to College is all about getting paid to do it, avoiding loans, living in financial freedom and abundance, no matter what your family's background is, no matter what your student's background is. Because truly, and I'm going to prove this to you throughout not only the course of this episode, but coming episodes, there are scholarships for everyone, including your student. And there are ones that your student can go after that they are far more likely to win. So let's get into it. I want to share some tips and strategies with you in this episode to kick us off. Share a little bit about what brought me to this point. I'm actually a $164,000 scholarship winner myself, and I graduated debt-free. This did not happen by accident, though. It was a funny turn of events because I remember very distinctly I was in 10th grade. And my parents sat me down for a conversation and basically said, hey, we know you want to go to college, but we don't have the money to pay for that. And we also don't expect to get money from FAFSA. We don't expect to qualify for financial need. And so if you want to go to college, you have to get scholarships. And being right between 10th and 11th grade at that point, I remember thinking, well, college is so far away. Why do I need to start focusing on this now? But really, my mom was in a great position saying to me, we need to start on this now, because we don't know yet where you're going to college, but we can start saving that money. She somehow figured that out at that point. I'm so grateful she did. So if this is news to you, yes, your student can start winning scholarships so much earlier than most people talk about. A lot of people wait until high school senior year because they think that that's the only time that they can get scholarships. But your student can be getting scholarships as early as elementary, middle school, high school, 5th, 6th, 7th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Even though they don't know where they're going to college, they can earn that money and then it gets saved so they can use it wherever they attend college down the line. Really incredible. So that's what my mom and I did. And when we were starting on this process, we didn't know anybody who had won a scholarship. We didn't know anyone. And we still thought this was possible. We were thinking, all right, we really have no other recourse other than to apply for scholarships. So I remember when we were first getting started, we were finding opportunities. My mom was helping me figure out how to apply. And my very first scholarship win was $100. I kid you not. It was a $100 bill that they gave me at this contest. It was actually the American Legion scholarship contest. They hold this every single year. Look into it if you have a student between 9th through 12th grade. And it is a contest where you present a spoken essay, a speech on a topic of their choosing, and also the Constitution. And I had competed in this, and I ended up winning that first round. It was hosted at the local level, the local chapter of the American Legion in our town. And I remember Mom and I chatting about it afterwards and really realizing, okay, if I can win $100, why can't I get $1,000? $10,000, $100,000. And that is exactly what happened. So that was the start of it all, right? $100. And I know there are some people out there who would be like, whoa, that's not even going to buy you a textbook. But what that signaled to me was, we can do this. I can do this. I just need to keep going. I just need to keep replicating that result. So I really want to encourage you that the money is out there, and your student can be winning far larger scholarships for their first time than I did. I've had so many students who won $5,000 on their first scholarship, $10,000, even $40,000, $50,000 on their first scholarship. So you don't have to exactly start where I did, but I really just want to give you context and also encouragement that we can start small and work our way up, but really that at the end of the day, this is possible for everyone. So you're probably in a position and you're listening to this podcast because you are not qualifying for financial need. Either you don't expect to, you think that your family's income is going to disqualify your student from receiving financial need, whether that's through FAFSA, whether that is from the college. And the really great thing is that that doesn't matter. Because my family was in that exact same position where we didn't qualify for financial need. We didn't get that financial aid. I got some scholarships from the college that were merit-based, but they were not based on need. And a lot of families will stop short and think, okay, you know what? If we didn't get scholarships from FAFSA or we didn't get scholarships from the college or need scholarships, that must mean that we aren't going to be able to get any other scholarships, even if those are from private third-party groups. And that's not true. In fact, there are so many scholarships that don't ask about finances. They're just based on your student sending in a submission, whether that is an essay or a video interview or an application that demonstrates their personality. That's what the judges are caring about. And it's not necessarily GPAs. I've seen 3.0s beat out 4.0s for scholarships. So when I say there are scholarships for everyone, I mean that, and I stand by that, and I've seen it happen over and over and over and over again. There's no reason why that can't be true for your family. There was a family that joined my Get Paid to Go to College program last year, and their daughter was a senior, and they felt like they were getting started late, and Tiana is her name. She hadn't applied to scholarships before, and they started during January of her high school senior year. And I'll never forget, it was October when her mom emailed me and said, oh my gosh, I'm sure you'll believe this, but we almost can't believe it. Tiana's won $165,000 at this point over the last 10 months. We've been going through your strategies. We've been implementing those. We started looking for scholarships in places we didn't know existed, but now we found them thanks to your strategies. We started sending off applications and essays. We started reusing essays. I'm going to talk about this strategy in a minute. And now I can start saving for retirement as a parent. And Tiana is going to college completely debt-free. And this happened in the span of less than 10 months. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the exact same for everybody. For me, it was over a broader period of time. I started applying in 10th grade and applied all the way through my senior year of college. But this really goes to show it doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're starting too late. It doesn't matter if you feel like you don't have any other experience, you don't know anybody who's applied for scholarships. Your family can still do this. You can pull this off. I am here to guide you. I am your scholarship coach, and I'm so, so glad that you're here listening to this episode, because this is going to be what you have finally been waiting for to help your family get to the other side, to pay for college, to have that financial freedom, and give your student that gift of a debt-free future. I can't tell you how amazing and valuable it was for my parents to give me that gift. And it wasn't like I was necessarily super motivated all the time. it wasn't like I was necessarily motivated all the time for scholarships. It was my mom saying, we're going to do this together. We're going to tackle this together. I'm going to hold you accountable. And remember what she said in the beginning, unless you get scholarships, you're not going to college because we don't want to get into debt for this. And so that was such an encouraging perspective. And I'm so glad that my mom held that idea and that vision as we went through this process, because if it wasn't for her, I would not be able to say that I graduated debt-free and had that freedom immediately out of college to pursue my dreams, my goals. And funny enough, it turned into helping other families just like yours find and apply for scholarships. So I am so glad that we can do that together. So what started with $100 in scholarships for me ended up snowballing into $164,284 in scholarships total. And this was over the course of multiple years, as I mentioned earlier. I continued to apply throughout high school, and I continued to apply through all of college. So most families don't realize that they can actually continue to get scholarships once their student is already in college. It's not like your student is capped after they have graduated high school. There's still so much more funding, so much more that's available that they can continue to get. I was still getting scholarship checks during my senior year of college. So it's not like it's the end of the line. And even if your student is a college student, even if your student is an undergrad, they're enrolled, they haven't started on scholarships before, that's okay. I've had students start as freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and then pay for their remaining semesters of college with those awards. And sometimes, yes, even scholarships can be used to retroactively pay off student loan debt. So that is also an option as well. So that's a little bit about my story, but I want to bring this full circle to show you that there is a very distinct formula for winning scholarships, because I was not going after big scholarship competitions, scholarships that were advertised on big websites. I wasn't applying for the same types of opportunities that most students out there are going for. I was at first, but then my mom and I realized that those were really competitive, I wasn't winning, and it wasn't worth our time. So that is when we shifted our focus to what I call less competitive scholarships. Now, less competitive scholarships are wonderful. It just means that not that many other people are finding them, not that many other people are applying for them. And on average, I was only competing against 5 to 10 other students at a time when I was applying to some of these awards. So you can imagine going from when I used to be applying to scholarships where thousands or tens of thousands of other students were applying, odds of winning not very good, then bringing that down to only 5 to 10 other applicants. Oh my word. I started winning basically 50%, over 50% of the scholarships that I was applying for. It was incredible, rather than losing every single one that I was applying for. So if you've applied to scholarships before with your student and you haven't won, I really want to encourage you that that is probably a competition issue, meaning that they've been going for scholarships that are just far too competitive. It doesn't mean that your student isn't a scholarship winner. It just means that we need to focus our attention on awards that less people are finding, fewer people are finding. And that's what we're going to do together throughout the episodes. And I'm really excited to dive into that with you. So I started applying for these less competitive scholarships. A lot of these are going to be found in more localized areas, or they're going to be based on a particular topic. So a skill, an interest that your student has, something about their background. So I was applying to less competitive scholarships. And then what I was doing on the other side was I was reusing application and essay material. This is huge. There are so many families who think that they need to be writing 50 different essays in order to win scholarships. That's not true. You're going to burn yourself out. What I did instead is I wrote a few base essays, and then I kept repurposing those for scholarships after that point. So there was actually one essay that I remember writing during my junior year of high school, and I won a scholarship competition with it. It was incredible. I won $22,000 from that competition. And I continued to repurpose that essay. So I would tweak it slightly, right, as needed. But the bulk of it, I kept reusing for other relevant topics. And I kept submitting this. I submitted it during my senior year of high school, for a couple different competitions during my college years. And over the course of that time, I won over $65,000 from that one singular essay that I wrote in my junior year of high school. So this really goes to show we can put in the work once and it's going to pay dividends going forward. It's just that we need to know how to structure a really solid winning essay, solid winning application answers from the get-go. And that's what we're going to be covering throughout our episodes together. So make sure to subscribe, like this video if you haven't already, or if you are listening on a podcast platform, leave a rating, leave a review, and make sure to follow along so that you can get all of the future episodes. We're going to be diving deep into what a winning essay exactly looks like. I'm going to be giving examples of that. What type of material do we need to have prepared for our applications going forward so we can win these scholarships over and over and over again? And this formula, when we really break it down, is less competitive scholarships plus reusable application material equals consistent scholarship wins. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Less competitive scholarships plus reusable application materials equals consistent scholarship wins. That's it. It is that simple. And it really can be done, but you're not hearing other people talk about this because there aren't that many people who have figured this out. I'm so grateful that my mom and I pushed through to figure it out. But the students who have graduated debt-free, the students who have won these scholarships, this is how they are doing it. It's not through getting all full rides. It's through piecemealing these scholarships together, but doing it in a streamlined, replicable process so they can continue to get that college funding all the way until they graduate. So I graduated debt-free. I covered all of my costs throughout college, even room and board, books, fees, transportation. We'll talk about that in a later episode of all the different ways that you can use scholarships to cover every single dime of your students' college expenses. But after graduating, I remember I started having some family and friends who were reaching out to me and they were saying, hey, we really want to get scholarships and graduate debt-free like you did. Can you teach us how to do this? And I was like, sure, I'd love to. And so I started teaching family and friends and they started winning scholarships. It started snowballing. They started telling their friends and family about this and how it was happening. And then that turned into what I do today. So I started Scholarship Navigator, the title of my overall organization. And Coach Ryan Kelly is how you'll find me on Instagram and TikTok. But this really gave birth to a movement of helping families of all income backgrounds, but especially middle and upper class income, to pay for college without debt and pay for college without the stress. And it's been so incredible over these last few years to see how many families have been winning scholarships. Millions of dollars in scholarships have been won. And I'm so excited for you to join me on this journey, to join the scholarship community that you are now a part of here on this podcast and on my YouTube. And if you want to follow along on social media, where I also post shorter videos, strategies, I'll leave my handles for social media in the show notes. You can check that out. And I have been mentioning my Get Paid to Go to College program. I mentioned that earlier, my student Tiana, who went through that. So if you just want this all laid out and you know right now you need to get started on scholarships, you don't want to waste any time, you just want someone to show you step by step exactly what to do, my Get Paid to Go to College program is currently on sale. So this program is my online course. It includes my templates, my resources, my strategies, fill in the blanks, even examples of winning essays, guide you through step by step exactly how to find scholarships. So you're going to see me on the screen. I'm going to be screen sharing and showing you, okay, type this in. Click here, go here. And I'm going to show you how to find scholarships that are less competitive that other students aren't finding. And then we're going to get into crafting your applications and essays so you can have that all bundled together, ready to go. On average, families who finish the program and implement it and start applying for scholarships win $23,000 in their first year applying. And recently, I was thinking to myself, I want to get this program out to as many families as I possibly can. I want so many families to win scholarships by the end of the year. How can I do that? And it hit me. I had this epiphany of, oh my gosh, rather than have my program at the regular price, which is $1,200, and families have joined, seen incredible results, tens of thousands of dollars in scholarship wins, I then would offer my program sometimes for a sale price of $497. But I realized, no. I want to do something I've never done before. And I decided to open up the program for pay what you want. Yes, you heard me right. You literally get to pay whatever you want. You get to type it in at checkout to access my entire program. It is lifetime, unlimited access for your family. There are no recurring fees or subscriptions. It's a one-time payment of your choosing. And the reason I decided to do this, because I didn't see anyone else doing this, but I decided to do this because I wanted as many families as possible to win scholarships and get the value they needed at a price that works for them. So I trust that families will pay what they want to cover my costs, but so many more families are going to be able to benefit this way. So if you've been enjoying this episode and you want even more to go deeper, you don't want to wait for the next episode, that is the best place to go. The Get Paid to Go to College program, I'll drop the sale link in the show notes below to where you can access my entire vault of templates, strategies, step-by-step videos to carry you and your student through the scholarship process. So I can share more details about that in the show notes below. You can check that out. But I'm so glad that you're joining me on this episode. Make sure to subscribe. We don't want to miss out on future episodes. And as we get into the next few episodes, what I'm going to be covering are specific strategies not only for finding these less competitive scholarships, how to do it no matter your financial background, how to overcome limitations with FAFSA, but also how to help your student in this process. At the end of the day, a student's scholarship chances are very much determined by the parent behind them. And I would not have been self-motivated to apply for all of these scholarships. I'm so grateful that my mom held me accountable. And she set a plan and she said, this is what we're going to do. And she directed me. I did the work myself, but she really held me accountable to what our goals were, what our vision was, and made this possible. So if you are the parent listening to this, I want to encourage you that this is entirely possible. Even if you have a student where you're thinking, oh no, how am I going to motivate them? We're going to cover that together in future episodes, but this can be done. This is possible. Your family can absolutely achieve not only financial freedom, but abundance when it comes to paying for college, getting those costs covered, and giving your child and yourself that future, that debt-free future that you would love. So welcome to Get Paid to Go to College with Ryan Kelly. I am your host. I'm so glad to have you along here for the ride, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.